Billionaire sees a waitress feeding his disabled father. She never expected what happened next. No one in the small downtown diner noticed the black luxury car parked across the street. It didn't belong there, not among rusted pickups and delivery vans. But its owner wasn't looking for attention. Adrian Blackwood, one of the youngest self-made billionaires in the country, sat silently inside, watching through the wide glass window of a place he hadn't stepped into for over 20 years. The diner looked almost exactly the same as it had in his, childhood: faded red booths, cracked linoleum floors, and a neon sign that flickered even in daylight. His hands tightened on the steering wheel as his eyes locked onto one table near the back. There sat his father, Thomas Blackwood, hunched over in a wheelchair, his once strong body now weakened by a stroke that had stolen his speech and much of his mobility. Adrian had arranged for his father to be taken there every Wednesday by a caregiver, believing routine was good for him. But what Adrian hadn't expected was what he was witnessing now. A young waitress knelt beside Thomas, her apron slightly stained, her hair pulled back in a loose ponytail. She held a spoon carefully, lifting it slowly to Thomas's mouth, speaking to him softly as if he could respond. She wiped his chin gently, smiling when he swallowed, never rushing, never showing irritation. Adrian felt something tighten in his chest. This was not part of anyone's job description. He had paid the diner manager extra to tolerate his father's presence, assuming begrudging acceptance at best. Yet here was this waitress treating Thomas not like a burden, but like a human being worthy of patience and dignity. Adrian's mind drifted backward to memories he preferred to forget. Before the billions, before the skyscrapers and headlines, there had been poverty. There had been nights when Thomas Blackwood came home smelling of grease and sweat, hands cracked and bleeding from factory work. Thomas had raised Adrian alone after his wife died, sacrificing everything so his son could study. When the stroke came, it was Adrian who repaid that sacrifice. With money, but money could not return strength, speech, or pride. Thomas hated being seen like this. Adrian knew it. That was why he stayed away, watching from a distance, unable to face the guilt. And now, watching this waitress care for him so tenderly, Adrian felt ashamed of his own absence. Inside the diner, Lily Carter finished feeding Thomas and sat back on her heels, talking to him as she cleaned the table. She told him about her morning, about a rude customer who complained about cold coffee, about her dream of becoming a nurse someday. Thomas's eyes followed her, a faint sound escaping his throat, something like a broken word. Lily smiled wider. "I know, Mr. Blackwood," she said gently. "It's hard, but you're doing great today." She had no idea who his son was, no idea that the quiet man watching from outside controlled companies worth more than the entire block. To her, Thomas was just a lonely man who needed help eating his lunch. Adrian finally opened the car door. Each step toward the diner felt heavier than the last. He told himself he was just going in to thank her, maybe leave a tip. But deep down, something else was stirring, something unfinished, something demanding to be confronted. The bell above the diner door chimed as Adrian stepped inside, and Lily glanced up automatically, offering a practiced smile before returning to wiping down the counter. She didn't recognize him, and why would she? Dressed simply without his usual tailored suit, he looked like any other man passing through. Adrian walked slowly toward the back, his gaze never leaving his father. Thomas noticed him instantly. His eyes widened and a strained sound came from his throat. Lily turned, confused, then followed Thomas's gaze. "Oh," she said softly, standing up. "Are you family?" Adrian nodded, unable to speak for a moment. The words caught in his chest. Lily stepped aside, giving him space. "I'm Lily. I hope it's okay. I was just helping him eat. He seemed to be struggling today." Adrian swallowed hard. "Thank you," he finally said. "You didn't have to do that." Lily shrugged lightly. "Someone should." Those 3 words struck Adrian harder than any business loss ever had. "Someone should." He looked at his father, then back at Lily. "How long have you been doing this?" he asked. Lily hesitated. "A few weeks, I guess. Whenever I'm on shift and he comes in alone." Adrian frowned. "Alone?" Lily nodded. "Yes, the caregiver usually drops him off and leaves." I didn't think much of it. Shame burned through Adrian. He had paid people to handle his father, believing money was enough. Clearly it wasn't. They sat together awkwardly, Lily returning to her work but glancing over often. Adrian stayed, helping his father drink water, something he hadn't done in years. Thomas's eyes filled with tears. The silence between them was heavy, but it wasn't empty. It was filled with things left unsaid. When it was time to leave, Adrian turned to Lily. "I owe you more than you know," he said. Lily shook her head quickly. "You don't owe me anything. I just did what felt right." That night, Adrian couldn't sleep. Lily's words echoed in his mind. Someone should. He ordered a full investigation into the diner, not to shut it down, but to understand it. He learned Lily worked double shifts, cared for a younger brother with cerebral palsy, and attended night classes when she could afford them. Her kindness wasn't an act. It was who she was. By morning, Adrian had made a decision that would change all their lives. The following Wednesday, Adrian returned to the diner, but this time he didn't sit outside. He walked in with confidence, greeting the staff politely, before approaching Lily. "I was hoping we could talk," he said. Lily looked nervous but nodded, leading him to a quiet booth. Adrian didn't waste time. He told her who he was, not as a boast but as a confession. Lily's eyes widened in disbelief as he explained everything. His wealth, his guilt, his father. When he finished, she sat silently, processing. "I'm not here to buy your kindness," Adrian said firmly, "but I want to honor it." He slid a folder across the table. Inside were documents, full nursing school scholarships, a trust fund for her brother's lifelong care, and a formal job offer to oversee a new foundation dedicated to dignified elder care. Lily's hands trembled. Tears streamed down her face. "I don't understand," she whispered. "Why me?" Adrian looked at her steadily. "Because you treated my father like a human being when I failed to." Lily tried to refuse. She said it was too much, that she didn't do it for reward. Adrian nodded. "That's exactly why you deserve it." In the weeks that followed, everything changed. Thomas moved into a specialized home filled with warmth, not just luxury. Adrian visited every day. Lily began nursing school, her dream finally within reach. The foundation grew, touching thousands of families. And the billionaire who once watched from a distance learned that the greatest return on investment was never money but compassion. The end.